Hi, welcome back to Wallflowers. So, are you ready for today's Friday haul? I can't wait to bring it to you. I've spent a lot more money than I normally spend, but I've got a lot more goods than I normally get. So, I'm really happy to bring to you today what I've picked up. I didn't pick up what I call a weekend cake. Normally, I try to pick up a cake for the weekend, so we've all got a nice treat to look forward to. But with the abundance of the caramel, the apples on the tree in the garden, and different things I've got, it's time to do some baking. So I decided to pick up other varieties of treats that we don't normally get, but I haven't gone for a weekend cake. Anyway, I'll talk about that gradually as we go through. Let me show you what we got today. So first on the list is a nice big pizza. So it's a Marks and Spencer's pizza, just a margherita. I've paid £1.26. You can see from the sticker it's 3 times 42 pence. So I paid £1.26 for that. In Marks's it would have actually cost me £4. So it's a £2.74 saving. And we're actually going to have that for our evening meal tonight. So I'm quite looking forward to that. I picked up 2 mince and onion pies. Excuse me, 2 mince and onion pies. I've paid just 20 pence for those. They would have only cost £1 in the supermarket, but it's an 80 pence saving to me. Same again with the burgers. You see me pick these up all the time. I've paid 20 pence for 4 burgers, 5 pence each. Would have cost me £1 in the supermarket. So again, another 80 pence saving. These look quite nice, something we wouldn't normally pick up. So the mini croquettes, but they've got an Iberian ham. So it's some kind of Italian ham, I think, in the potato croquettes. So you can see it's 2 points. So it's cost me 84 pence for that bag today. Would have actually cost me £1.99 in the supermarket, so £1.15 saving. So when we put a load of toppings on the pizza, we're actually going to have those croquettes as a side with it. Next on the list is, so these are called Protein Power Singapore noodles. I'll just undo one to show you. So you've got chunks of chicken, all your vegetables and all your noodles, and they looked quite nice. So the first food initiative that we went to, these were £2 a piece. I'm looking for the tea towel, that was quite wet. The first food initiative we went to, they were £2 a piece. Both Claire and I were looking at them, and we left them because they were £2. And we were being a bit savvy and careful on what we were spending on the early shops. And when we got to the last shop of the day, these ones were only 1 point, which is 42 pence. So she brought my attention to it. She come over with one. She said, "Look at these." She said, "The last ones were £2. These are only 42 pence." So I picked up 2 of them. So I've paid 84 pence for the 2 of them. Together, they would have been 98 pence each, 1.99. So it's again, oh, sorry, I've got that wrong, completely wrong. Just ignore what I'm saying. I've paid 84 pence for 2, but they would have actually cost £5.50 each in the supermarket. So they would have come to £11. So I've saved £10.16 pence. What a dramatic saving on just 2 noodle meals. So we'll share one probably, and Oscar will eat the other. Next on the list is 2 packets of sausage rolls. Each one's got 4 in each. And we love sausages and we love sausage rolls in this house. So there's 8 sausage rolls. They have paid 50 pence a packet, which is £1, obviously. They would have cost me £3 in the supermarket, so a whole £2 saving. Amazing. These little sauces. So they're called Pilgrim's Yo. So the soy, ginger and garlic sauce. So I thought they'd be nice, stir fry, casseroles, whatever we choose to use, but all the flavourings all together in one sachet. So I asked the lady how, because I knew one wouldn't be one item. So I said, how many do we get? So she said, take 5. So I got 5 for 42 pence. Would have cost me £2.40 in the supermarket. So basically I've just weighed them and equalled it to 2 sachets of the sauce in the supermarket, which gives me a saving of £1.98. I picked up a pilau rice. I've paid 20 pence for that rice. Would have cost me 60 pence in the supermarket, so it's a 40 pence saving. And again, Oscar likes these quick, easy mug shots. I've paid 20 pence for that. Would have cost me £1 in the supermarket, so it's an 80 pence saving. These just looked different to me. So I sat on the shelf and I ummed and ahed and thought, well, yeah, I normally, if I'm doing a casserole or soup, etc., I'll break the spaghetti. Well, if I just pop these in a jar, it's already pre-broken. It's only cost me 20 pence, and it's just for the convenience of it. It literally is just soup noodles, broken pasta, in a jar, and they'll be added and they'll be used up pretty quickly. But I just thought, yeah, it just saves me. Once you take a couple of strands, whether your spaghetti's in the jar or in the packet, and you're trying to break it, you can be sure they bounce all over the kitchen. So I just have to take a couple of handfuls and drop them in. It'll be much easier and much quicker for me. So I paid 20 pence for that. That would have cost £2.79 in the supermarket. So it's a £2.59 saving. Wonderful. I regularly pick up the herbs, so I've paid 42 pence for this jar of rosemary today. Would have cost me £1, so it's 58 pence saving. A small tin of carrots, I've paid 20 pence for those. Would have cost me 50 pence in the supermarket, so a 30 pence saving. This one's quite interesting, and the 3 of us picked up a tin each. It's called Sunday soup, and now when you look at the ingredients, it's got pork in it, it's got turkey in it, and it's got ham in it. So it's got 3 meats in this soup, as well as your vegetables. And yeah, we like a soup in the winter, so all of these soups will get us through in the cold weather. And the cold weather's encroaching on us more and more now. We've had decent warm weather today, but it's dropping now. We've got our sweatshirts and jackets on. You can feel the nighttime temperatures are dropping. So soups like this will really see us through the winter. So I paid 20 pence for that soup today. Would have cost me £4. Now I had to search high and low because it's a fair share soup, and I had to search high and low, and eventually it gave me a price £4 for one tin of soup because it's got 3 meats in. So a £3.80 saving. Another tin is a tin of ratatouille, and we don't use it very often, but we will use it in the stews and stuff in the winter. So again, I've paid 20 pence. Would have cost me 92, so a 72 pence saving. The regular beans, I always top the beans up because we use them. 20 pence for these beans would have cost 42, so a 22 pence saving. And this is another really strange one I saw today, and again, it's a fair share product. So it's bacon in barbecue stock. So it's saying serve with pasta or mashed potato. So I've paid 20 pence for that. Again, took me quite a while to find the price, but it would have cost £4. So the fair share products, although you might get them in food banks, food initiatives, etc., if you were to go out and buy these specifically, they're an expensive product because there's meat in them. So as I say, would have cost £4, so it's a £3.80 saving. And again, brilliant winter staples for us. Yeah, they pay the proper prices to the farmers. Yeah. 2 cartons of hollandaise sauce. Now a green sticker indicates just 25 pence. So because it was 25 pence, I picked up two, and we like hollandaise sauce. A few years ago, I used to pick up lots of these because they were always available, and we'd use them for so many different meals. And I haven't had any for quite a long time now. And when they were just 25 pence today, I thought, yeah, I'm having two of those. Carol laughed at me and she went, oh, not again, Mary. She said, because we had tons of them a few years ago. I said, yeah, I like it, so I'm going to use it. Now, as I say, it's cost me 50 pence for 2 cartons of that. Had I bought those both in the supermarket, it would have cost me £12.40. There's a litre in each carton. So it's in the £11.90 saving. How wonderful is that? Especially for something that you enjoy. In the church food initiative, the gentleman again called me back and he said, you're one of the few people who are now regularly cook the vegetables. Can I give you some vegetables free again? So he gave me 1.5 Savoys. Where's the other half? The other half's here, and there's a full one there. Now, I got those absolutely free. Had I bought them in the supermarket, because they're only small ones, they would have cost me 90 pence. So it's a complete 90 pence saving. And Savoy cabbage is beautiful, so we really enjoy that. I paid for the Lola Rossa. It was only 20 pence, but look how beautiful that is. Would have cost me £1.50 in the supermarket, so it's a £1.30 saving. And I got this big marrow, and we'll do stuffed marrow during the week. And several people were asking me the recipe I'd use, and it's just a basic. We'll just strip it out, cut it in half, strip it out, cook off the marrow with some onions, some garlic, some salt, black pepper, fry off some mincemeat, mix it all together, put it in the oven for 10-15 minutes, add some cheese, do it for a further 10 minutes, and that'll be our stuffed marrow for a meal. That will be fabulous. So I've paid 20 pence for the marrow. It would have actually cost me £1.50 in the supermarket. So again, £1.30 saving. I took a courgette, absolutely free, would have cost 75 pence. He gave me 3 small iceberg lettuces. Now obviously the outside will have to come off that. But what's there is great. And each one will do a whole meal for the two of us. So I'm quite happy with that. So we got 3 baby iceberg lettuces for free. Would have cost me 96 pence in the supermarket. So yeah, 96 pence saving. And 2 uncut loaves. Look how wonderful they are. So they come round again. This bread, if you don't take it, will end up in landfill. Can everyone take extra bread, please? So I took 2 of the uncut. Thought they'd be wonderful. Had I bought those in the supermarket, they'd have been £1 each. So that's £2 saving. A couple of cartons of fresh herbs. So the sage, these are both free to me today. So the sage would have cost me £1.55 and the bay leaves would have been £1.25. Somebody said to me once, if you put a bay leaf in your purse, you'll never run out of money in your purse. So I'm going to give the girls 1 each and put 1 in my purse and see how we go. Give it a whirl. I picked a large bag of hula hoops up. I've paid 20 pence for them. Had I bought them in the supermarket, it would have been £1.15, which is a 95 pence saving. And what a lovely treat. There's loads of chocolate stuff. Got a box of Maltesers for just £1. They would have been £3.25 in the supermarket, which is a £2.25 saving. I got 2 bars. Look how big these are. Look how big they are. 2 bars. What were these? 300-gram bars of chocolate. So I got 2 of those at £1 each. Had I bought them in the supermarket, it would have cost me £7.78 for the 2 of them, which is a £5.78 saving. Amazing. And this bag was quite interesting. Let me just put my pad down so I can show you. It was in the cereal aisle, and I picked it up and had a little look at it. And the writing, I don't know if you can read the writing, it says Munchie Mix In. So basically, it's crumbs of biscuit. Sorry. Basically, it's crumbs of biscuit, which again, I can use for a cheesecake, I can use on top of ice cream, I can use in so many different ways. Pretty similar to Biscoff, but a totally different flavour. Now I've paid 20 pence again for that today. Would have cost me £5.50 in the supermarket for that, so it's a £5.30 saving. These jars always look fancy to me and they remind me of Christmas. So it's a Bon Manon chocolate and orange spread, and that'll be nice for bacon with. And that jar I'll be able to use for water bathing, etc. So it's a double whammy really. I get a nice fancy jar of chocolate spread and I get a jar to reuse. What a bonus. So I've paid £1 for that today. Would have actually cost me £3, so a £2 saving. I was prepared to pay £1 for it because I knew that I could reuse and reuse that jar. A really big jar of Nutella. Now I don't normally buy something like this, but I knew the savings were good. So this is a kilo jar of the Nutella spread. Again, I'll use it mostly for bacon. I probably will at some point take a spoon to it. I'm going to be honest, I probably will. But I've paid £4 for this jar today. At the cheapest price that I could find, it would have been £6.90 in the supermarket. So it's a £2.90 saving. Amazing. A box of eclairs. Paid £1 for those. They would have been £4 in the supermarket, so a £3 saving. And this, Oscar's eyes will light up when he sees it because he hasn't seen it yet. So it's a Heinz Korean barbecue sauce, and it's a really big bottle. You can see it's a 3 item, so it's cost me £1.26. Had I bought it in the supermarket, it would have cost me £4, which is a £2.74 saving. Amazing. I got 2 bottles of apple and mint juice, which sounds really, really refreshing. Now, these were on the free table. I thought, right, I'll give them a whirl. Oscar will drink anything, but I thought I'll give it a whirl, see if I like it, and Oscar can have the other one. I got them for free. They would have cost me £1.58 for the pair in the supermarket, so £1.58 saving. The usual loaf, a Warburton's loaf for 20 pence, would have cost me £1.40, so £1.20 saving. And a packet of biscuits, coconut rings, I paid 20 pence for them. They would have cost 88 pence in the 88 pence in the supermarket, so it's a 68 pence saving. The fruit salad ice pops. Now there's 8 in that pack. I've paid £1. They would have cost £1.75 at the cheapest, and some prices are really expensive in some places for them. So it's a 75 pence saving. And a mass of salad potatoes. And I forgot to weigh them before I put them on the table. So I've just rounded it off and I've called it £1.19 for all of those. So a total saving of £1.19. Now we'll go over to the surfaces because there's so much stuff I couldn't fit everything on my island. So I got 12 bottles of Lucasade. Now I've paid £5 today for those 12 bottles. To buy them in the supermarket would have been £12. So it's a £7 saving. And as I've said before, I don't drink a lot of fizzy drinks, but when I do, it's a Lucasade. So that's a vast saving. I got Initially, I got a 12 pack of cheese and onion crisps, the Walkers, for just £1. Had I bought them in the supermarket, they would have been £3.25. So it's a £2.25 savings. When I got further around the shop, I saw this really big box. And they're all ready salted, but people will be happy enough to eat the ready salted. We generally have them on a sandwich, or the men in the house will just eat them in the packet, take them to work, etc., won't you? So that's 32 packets of ready salted Walker's crisps. I've paid £5 for that box today. Had I bought that in the supermarket, it would have cost me £17.99, which is a £12.99 saving. I got 12 linseed buns. You can just see the seeds on the top of the buns, and they'll be beautiful. They'll be nice with a bit of butter on. I paid 50p for the whole bag. Would have cost me £2 from the supermarket, so it's a £1.50 saving. Really nice big bag of hot dog rolls. Again, I've paid 50p for them. They would have cost £1.75, so it's a £1.25 saving. I haven't even put the Hovers on. I got the Hovers for free. Well, that would have been at least another £1 onto the plus rate. Discounted, it would have been 52p. Yeah, I got a pack of pita bread. Oscar loves anything like this. 4 pizzas, absolutely free, would have cost 52p. But the pièce de résistance of the whole day is, let me show you this. So it doesn't look like a massive box, but this is cooked pork meatballs. And I've had them before, and I will be canning these with a nice sauce. It's 2.75 kilos in the box. It's 6 red stickers, so it's cost me £6. And that's a lot of meatballs. 2.75 kilos is a lot of meatballs. Had I bought it in the supermarket, it would have cost me £20. So that's a £14 saving. Absolutely amazing. And the guy who offered me all the fresh veg said, please, can you take as many of these spring onions as you can? So I emptied a crate, and I took all of them. He said they're only going to go into landfill. And if you've watched my spring onion prep video, I'll try and remember and tag it in the description. Basically, I'll take all the dry leaves off, take the roots off, and I'll finely chop them, clean them, put them in Ziploc bags. And as I'm cooking a meal, I'll just take a handful out for each meal, a couple of handfuls, put them in an omelette, casserole, soups, any meal at all, defrost them for salads, whatever. And I'll have about at least 4 full Ziploc bags of finely sliced spring onions. And the bonus of that, it might take me an hour to prep it all, but the bonus of having them and just quickly just grabbing a handful and doing it, it works, doesn't it? You know, and it's just so convenient. And to get them all for free now, I haven't got to chase picking up an onion here or there. I've actually got all of that. By tomorrow it'll be prepped in the freezer, so I'm really happy. So yeah, you can actually see how vast the amount of stuff I've got today is, you know. And we've covered all the treats, fizzy drinks, different drink tasters, several different varieties of breads. You know, there's meat, there's different meals. There's tins to put away in the pantry. There's plenty of vegetables, lots of treats. It's just in abundance. I'm really happy with what we've got today. I hope you enjoy it. What kind of treats have you been picking up? Everyone likes a treat late at night or after tea time. You know, what have you got? And if you've got any ideas of using any of this produce the hollandaise sauce, any of the vegetables, etc., please let me know in the comments. You can see I'm excited. I want to put it all away in the right places and make sure everything's got a space. But what I haven't told you yet is the totals. Let's look at this. Everything here today, I've personally spent £37.74. Now, as you know, that's a lot for me to spend. £37.74. Had I bought it all in the supermarket, it would have cost me £182.30. Wow. Which gives us an absolute saving of £144.56. What a blessing. What an absolute blessing. The things we've got and adding to provisions to bring out and add. The food supply is just abundant. It's great, isn't it? Thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoyed this as much as I do. I really do, because I love bringing it to you and showing you the contrast in prices and the availability of fresh food as well as junk and processed food as well. You know, a little bit of everything goes a long way. As I say, please take care. Please remember you're loved, and I'll speak to you again soon. Bye-bye.